Where are
This is
we?
all good stuff. We're in New Orleans.
This is different. This is a different studio. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
We're the Hardy Street Boys.
From Be My Friend Studio in New Orleans, the heart of New Orleans. This is Operation The Hardy Street Boys Go Regional.
Yeah.
So
We've crossed state lines.
it's pretty cool. Like, Jamie gave me a drink and I woke up here. So this is really exciting.
Yeah, this is super exciting. This is such a cool thing we're doing here. All the cool things. New Orleans is a cool place. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
We want to remind you to check out our website, thehardystreetboys.com. Like, subscribe, share. Also, you can support us on Patreon. What's Patreon, Jamie?
Patreon is a website and also an app for your phone where you can essentially support us, the Hardy Street Boys, and you can pay us like money per month, and we'll give you behind-the-scenes footage. We'll give you early access to our episodes, all kinds of cool stuff, and it's a cool way to support us.
Yeah, money, please. $3 a month, that gets you early access. $5 a month gets you the behind-the-scenes, outtakes, all kinds of cool footage. We have a huge show planned for you. We have Greg and Adam of Be My Friend Studios. It's going to be sick, and I really just want to get to it, so let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, here we are. We made it.
We're here
Yeah,
in New Orleans.
that's where we are.
So, yeah, it's been, this is pretty exciting.
Yeah, how's your week been? Before we came down here, what have you been up to?
It's great. Well, I stopped by Tabella, got pizza to go before I hit the road.
You did?
Yeah, yeah.
I love Tabella's.
I normally eat healthy there. Their pizza, it's that thin crust though.
I haven't ordered the pizza in a while.
Well, see, like if you don't like bread like me, if you believe you have a gluten intolerance,
You get the thin crust.
you get their pizza is great.
But man, just their bread is amazing. That focaccia they're coming out with, it's amazing.
Yeah, Chris took care of me. I sat at the bar. Chris is a great dude. Actually used to coach that guy in
Really?
soccer. It's kind of weird, man, how things have come full circle. But great guy and
Yeah.
great pizza.
Yeah,
great time.
I got to get over there with the Food with Friends.
Yeah.
If that's like a exclusive for y'all. If y'all are looking forward to like the February issue of Signature Magazine, I got to go over there with Allison Neville, her husband Kyle Bowman, Brittany Purvis, and of course our
Vassar.
Brittany Purvis Vassar, and
We never get it right.
our fearless photographer Rob Walker. Some amazing photos of delicious food. I had the chicken piccata. Always a good choice for me. I love the.
What is chicken piccata?
Well, it's like a lemon butter sauce with capers, and then of course I've been trying to get it without the. I'm trying to reduce my carb intake,
Right.
so I get potatoes and green beans. No, I should probably watch the potatoes, but yeah, it's delicious.
It's good, but you work out, so you play sports.
Oh
you can,
yeah,
you can
play
do all
sports.
that
I'm a
kind
huge
of stuff.
sports guy. I'm not trying to be the best at working out. I play real sports. I play tennis.
All right, Kenny Powers.
I play tennis.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad tries to get me into pickleball. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Pickleballs, I think that's an over 40 thing.
It's big in Florida, apparently.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
One day.
I have to ask the guys how pickleball's catching on in New Orleans. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Enough pickleball. New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
We're in New Orleans.
Here we are.
Man, we had such a good time.
We've been talking about coming down here for a while.
Yeah. And, it's fun coming. We came by the studio, kind of scoped it out. This place is immense.
It's a bakery.
It's
We're in a bakery.
Yeah, but like they're
But
cooking
it's
up
also
beats
like,
though.
Yeah, they're cooking up. It's like a sound lab. Yeah.
Like this place is insane. And
just the toys. I was blown away. I'm still blown away.
It's like if Six Flags was designed by Daft Punk.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. And so we came in and then we actually met up with a good friend Sumner at the Chloe.
Yeah, Sumner, our friend Sumner Baggett used to live in Hattiesburg Ties, down here living, and we met up at the Chloe. That was an interesting hang.
Yeah.
That was kind of a cool little. I don't know, man.
I was trying to get you to jump in the pool because it's very
they have a
cold.
swimming pool. It's like it's like a house bar. It's pretty cool.
That place is built for Instagram for sure.
Definitely.
So
A lot of places, very trendy. I like it.
But shout out to the bartender. He was new.
Yeah, new guy.
And had just got done training, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
had an old fashioned. What'd you get? You got one of their.
I got an old fashioned.
You got an old fashioned too.
Delightful.
What did Sumner have? That was a nice signature drink she ordered.
Gosh, she put me on the spot. She told me it was something.
We'll get it. We'll ask her later. It's fine. And then we head over to Superior Seafood, which was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
The playlist was a much more progressive than I expected.
Yeah. What'd you go with, the pasta?
Yeah, I did. I had the pasta view curry. I gotta learn view curry. I gotta learn my pronunciations. But yes, that was delicious. Andouille sausage, shrimp, really good.
I had an amazing redfish dish, like grilled redfish, served over some mashed sweet potatoes and some Brussels sprouts. Because everyone knows I love Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, you're a big butt.
Everyone knows it.
Dude,
they know it. They know it. The people on that camera know it. Everyone knows I love Brussels sprouts, especially with crawfish season coming up. We're going to have some backyard boils, and we're definitely going to be putting some Brussels sprouts in there.
Okay. All right.
Just a heads up.
Yeah. Wait, what? Brussels sprouts in
a crawfish boil.
I love random stuff in a crawfish boil.
It's the best part.
You know, it's really good. Sliced pineapples, but you get the can, and you poke holes in it and just throw the can.
The whole can in.
Yeah. It seems unsafe, and it probably is, but it's delicious. It's the best pineapple slices you'll ever have with the spice in there.
I love mushrooms when people put mushrooms in, whole garlic cloves, you know, just put garlic in there and just, I love it.
Comment random things you like to put in a crawfish boil.
What do you put in your crawfish boil?
Because we want to know. The weirder, the better.
Yeah. Some people put cherries and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they don't. And then after that, we went to Henry's. Watched some football.
Hanging.
They have a lot of TVs for.
Yeah.
The place isn't huge, but they figured out how to fit as many TVs as possible in that place.
A nice neighborhood pub. That's what we were talking.
Public house.
Yeah, we were talking about how you come to New Orleans and nice pubs down here, man.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be, right? The pub is supposed to be one of the houses, like usually on the street corner, is the public house where everybody goes and hangs.
Yeah.
So you can kind of hang within your neighborhood. That's something you'd want to see Hattiesburg get more of too. Is just because it's just really cool. You know, I think it builds community, and it's just fun, man.
It is fun hangs,
dude. Had a blast, man. It's been a great weekend. It's carnival season in the market for a king cake. So I'm looking. You know, what's the best king cake out there? There's a lot of. That's the thing, man. Nobody's non-committal about what their favorite king cake is. Everybody has a really strong opinion. Just tell you,
there's some, especially down here, that are they're hard to come by. You know, like there's some that are just like, ooh, like have you gotten your hands on a Dong Fung king cake? Apparently, the Dong Fung is highly sought after.
Yeah.
I stopped at Dong Fung on my way in to get some meat pies and a couple banh mi sandwiches.
Yeah.
So.
And Randazzo's is always really good. I've never been disappointed with theirs.
The whole fam.
But yeah, got to get a king cake. Oh, this morning, let's not forget, bro, we went to Stein's Deli. I had the muffaletta, which is like their take on the muffaletta. It was delicious. And what'd you have?
I had the Sam. Ooh. I kind of took, after our friends Greg and Brian, they got the Sam, and I was like, hey, I'm trying to branch out, try new things. Yeah. It's kind of like one of their things. It's some pastrami. It was delicious on rye bread. Mighty fine.
Yeah, it was. They don't need us to boost it. They're killing it, man. That place is sick. It's cool walking into a deli that's there's a little bit of salt, man. Like they've
been around, man.
It's edgy, bro.
Oh yeah.
I like that. You know, everybody's nice, but it's like I don't know. It's just got a different feel. You don't have that back home.
What did you say when somebody else's name was called?
Oh, somebody goes up. They went up to the window, to the order window, whatever, and the guy goes, "Are you Willie?" And the guy goes, "Nope." He goes, "Well, then this isn't for you," because he said Willie, and the guy walked up. He's like, "I didn't say your name." Like, it's very. He wasn't mean. It's like
just a little salty.
That's true.
Funny.
I'm not Willie either, so I wouldn't. Why would that be my order?
Willy nilly.
So, dude,
you can't just go up there all willy nilly like that.
Dude, it was hilarious. So, yeah, ate outside. It was a beautiful day. And then, man, I think the highlight, though, is this studio. Getting to hang out, getting to see all this gear.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to our guests today. I'm excited for you to talk to our guests today.
We're all going to talk, and I'm excited to see how they work and how they write, because it's something you can talk about it all day, but when you actually see it, that's the good stuff, man. Yeah. That's the and this is also very like. This isn't just music. This is technology.
That's one of the things, the modulation, the word modulation, like sound, building sound and making sound, and then taking and messing with sound, like playing with the knobs, man, hitting the switches.
Getting twisty.
Yeah, there's a Moog over there.
Moog, yeah, Moog. Yeah,
Moog
also,
over.
comment, type how you think Moog is pronounced. Is it
Moog
Moog or
over.
Moog? Type it so we know what you think.
Moog over.
So, yeah, man. But this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time we get our guests on because, yeah, I want to hear what they have to say.
All right, cool.
And give us a lesson. So after this, Greg and Adam of Be My Friend Studio. How many push-ups can you do in a row without throwing up?
I don't know. I would almost say maybe 25 because I'm get queasy just thinking about it.
Here, I got another one.
Okay.
What does the color purple smell like?
Oprah Winfrey and Grimace.
Wait, what does Grimace smell like?
Purple undercarriage.
Well, that was a question I just asked you.
Oh,
You know, anybody can ask us questions.
they can.
Yeah, they can just email us at thehardystreetboys@gmail.com.
But we're asking them to film themselves asking the question so we can put it on our show.
Yeah.
And then email it to the hardystreetboys@gmail.com.
Yeah.
They can ask any question.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
well, now they know.
Undercarriage? You went with undercarriage?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Thanks, Jamie. and Greg, actually. We're here at Be My Friend Studios with Greg Sorensen and Adam Lipscomb. How you guys doing today?
Oh, it's wonderful. Doing great. Fabulous.
Man,
Glad you're here.
we're excited to be here. Thanks for letting us kind of take over your studio.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Anytime.
This is a blast.
It's a morphable area.
Yeah, it's this is something that like doesn't really happen overnight. You know, like why this studio? How did this? I mean, we're in a bakery. We're in Baker Made Bakery. How did this come about? How'd you guys meet each other and how'd you get this whole thing started?
Well, it might require a little backstory with the bakery situation, just for the audience, you know.
Yeah. So my family owns a commercial bakery. We bake cakes for grocery stores, and as the studio grew where I was living, it became pretty apparent that it needed to move out of the house. And this room was back here. It's just storage. It wasn't being used for anything. It's probably 20 feet by 20 feet, something like that. And so I cleared it out and set up a room in here. At first, I built a little room inside the room.
It like this used to be like probably maybe 8 feet wide, like
It was the size
8
of this
feet by
rug.
20
Well, I
feet,
guess
like
you can't
hallway.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like squeezed by one another and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But eventually opened it up and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we detached the walls and fanned them out, and that was actually really good for soundproofing, having the space behind the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once we kind of had the space here, as we accumulated more gear and worked on more projects, you know. Wow, my brain just totally shut off.
No, but like as you start adding all these things, like you have so many synthesizers, you have so much gear.
Yeah.
Like how do you get into something like that? Like, I mean, that's not, you have to be able to play these instruments.
Right, yeah.
And you have to have an incredible technical, like amount of technical knowledge of like how it works. So like, how do you get into something like that?
In sorry.
No, go for it. Yeah.
In high school, I got my first synthesizer. It was actually a MIDI controller, and I was like blown away when it didn't make any noise, because MIDI controllers, they just send information, they don't make sound. And it came with like software that you could use to make the sound. And once I learned how that worked, it was kind of like, all right, very cool. Then I got a microKORG when those came out, because everybody got one. And
they're awesome.
They're awesome. There's one right there, very very cool version of one. And from there, it was just like 10 years of accumulating gear here and there, and then once we started kind of getting some more serious projects, we would get gear sometimes specific for those things, and you use it for that project, but then you're working on something later, and it's like, oh, it'd be fun to use, I don't know, whatever that gear is, like a phaser or something like that from a previous project on, like a short film score or something.
Yeah.
And
But a huge benefit of synthesizers is that like you build this sound from the ground up. Like you start with like just a basic tone, and you can cut away with it with filters. You can like manipulate the attack and decay. It's like you can make it whatever you need it to be. So it can fit really well in pop music or, you know, hip hop or whatever. It can also fit really well in scoring and stuff like that, and like just like literally like any situation. I mean, guitars and horns are extremely useful, and they're wonderful and fun to play and important, you know. But like, but a synthesizer, it's like, you know, it really can be applied to a huge like huge swath of genres.
If you want to go to Taco Bell, you know,
right?
There you go.
Yeah, the Taco Bell sample. We all got to go right now.
Yeah.
Well, no, you had mentioned, Adam, that you played in bands and everything.
Yeah.
Is this like kind of a natural progression where, like, if you don't have time to make it to a band rehearsal, or you don't have, like, maybe you don't have a band, this seems like something where you can do it by yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the way it was for me. You know, it's like, you know, I work on movies, and you know, movies, you know, we work long hours and stuff like that. So like, in the small amount of time that I have whenever I'm off, you know, it's like, generally I don't have a lot of time to interact with, you know, a band and rehearse and stuff like that, even though we are making that work right now. It's become bigger, but that was my original thing. It was just like, what can I make by myself? You know, it's like, and I had samplers and stuff like that, which I've been into samplers for a long time, but, you know, eventually, you know, I wanted to kind of like play around, add some more tones to it, and have like a large palette that I could fool around with, and, you know, synthesizers was kind of like, it made a lot of sense.
Right.
You know?
Right. Now, how did you two get linked up?
So I was at like our neighborhood bar, and I heard two guys talking about repairing a synthesizer.
One of those guys was Michael O'Keefe from Record Office Records, who is a genius in his own right.
Yeah,
you know?
he does a lot of the like mixing and like kind of engineering stuff for us.
Yeah.
And so I went and I'm a chatterbox, so I went and talked to him, and we got to be friends, and there was like a local synth meetup thing that Adam was kind of helping coordinate, and, you know, so I went to that. He came over to my place one afternoon with his modular synthesizer, and, you know, I was just like really getting into modular at the time, and so that was just a really good connection, and we worked really well together.
Yeah.
Then when we were starting to pick up more projects here, particularly the Hazy Jane project, his schedule freed up from COVID and everything being shut down. So we were in here like, I mean, hours and hours and hours every single night working on stuff. Basically, the second I got off of work, he would come over, and we would just write. We wrote our own album. We wrote basically an album's worth of material for Hazy Jane, and, you know, that's when we got into the film scoring thing too. So it was like just one thing after another, and
It's crazy how COVID, like, while like such a, obviously just a terrible thing, the pivot that some people, I mean, that's the reason we have the show, is because of COVID, and we were like figuring out how to do video.
Time to
right, you have
what do I actually want to do?
Exactly, a lot of it's the great reset, like a time to kind of reassess, and the Hazy Jane project is really cool. Some of the videos you have
a lot
out
of fun.
are really. I encourage people to check that out.
Check it out.
It's really sick. What do you offer though? As like, this is a recording studio, but you offer things in addition to what people would typically associate with a recording studio. So like with the Hazy Jane project, what are some of those services?
A lot of it is it kind of enabling and facilitating the ideas for whatever the artist, like whoever the artist is. And, you know, that could be for a film, that could be for a musician, kind of whatever. Like we're working on a thing for an art installation right now, for instance. And so our main process is understand what the artist wants, kind of what their vision is. So we'll have a session like that where they'll come in, and the good thing about good artists is it's very easy to get their ideas out of them. They just kind of come in and, you know,
and it's gratifying.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, if it's like such a fun, wonderful process, you know.
Yeah, they'll come in and start singing. We'll record a little bit. They might play piano, or you know, like Jay, for instance, one of our projects. Like he came in the first day with a bass guitar and just like was ripping on bass.
Yeah, just laid it down.
It was super fun. And then we have a session after that where they aren't here, and we start thinking about, okay, what does the palette look like for them, or sound like for them?
Yeah, it allows for us to digest.
And then we'll put together maybe like a 16 bar or 32 bar, like two different sections of like some kind of composition for them, and send it to them and see what they think. And then when they come back, it gives them something to work with, where we'll then kind of tailor it to what they would kind of want to change and record the vocals over it or whatever they play and see what we have. And then it's kind of a dialogue from there. It's just back and forth.
Yeah.
And the more kind of rapport you build with an artist, each subsequent project comes out a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, earlier we were talking about some of the Hazy Jane songs, and, you know, I remember like that process was really evident for me when we worked on the song Fast Break Letdown, where Ashley came in, Hazy Jane, and you know, basically I just held down one note, I think it was an F, on a keyboard, and she just sang over that for 5 minutes. And I mean, she could sing over anything and it would sound good, but it took the next session where she wasn't here for us to kind of like dig in and be like, all right, well, the song can't just be like one note and her singing. That's not going to work. So we processed it through like the modular and like wrote a sequence and all this other stuff. And if you go on the BMF Pros Instagram, like there's a clip of the first time we played that instrumental in the studio, then when you slide over her vocal on top of it afterwards. And it was just such a gratifying thing where it was like, okay, we went from it just being one note and her, you know, noodling over it to it being a draft. And that's always, you feel like you turn the corner when you get the draft done.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just making it really good.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, it's like how we work is kind of as like a bit of an incubator. We're not working like with a lot of musicians with like, you know, record deals and stuff like that who have a lot of money to put towards,
Right.
You know, like, you know, studio time and like and a producer and like and all the things that go into that stuff. Like we can meet a lot of those different areas. I mean, if they're having to work and they come in after work, we accommodate for that. And like, and if they can't come in, that's whenever we have those sessions where we work on their music. We offer them up different drafts, and, you know, they can say yes or no, and, you know, we can hone things in as we go along. But yeah, it's like, yeah, we kind of boil things up that way.
Well, it's a lot of writing and, dare I say, synthesizing.
Yeah.
Right. Because because you're actually kind of creating. You're not just pressing record. You know, it's not. It's much more involved. And I mean, that's also oversimplifying like what a recording engineer does. But you know what I mean. Like it's what you're doing is like going really like above and beyond and providing a lot more, especially for like a vocalist, or if I don't have a band, once again, you know, I don't have time, or I couldn't find the right fit, then they can reach out to you and you kind of take care of that. You know?
Yeah, we can kind of pull out like whatever backing they need, you know, like we have a pretty broad palette here, you know, it's like a lot of different little bits and bobs and toys that we can make whatever sound you need.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's not. It's also not frivolous. You see all this gear, and it all has a purpose. You know. And man, it's cool to see who you've worked with and see what you're doing. Like, what are some of the artists? Who are some of the artists that you've had come work in the studio that just kind of blew you away?
There've been a few. The one where I kind of felt the most like talent dwarfed. Like I grew up playing piano. I started playing piano when I was like 3 years old. Did classical lessons all through high school, and Nick Payton came and recorded, wrote a song and recorded it here. And you know, basically when he came in, I was, you know, kind of doing the settings on the synthesizers for him, and then he would play. And I've never felt more talent dwarfed on keys in my entire life. Like, that guy can absolutely throw down.
Yeah.
And that was a very fun experience because it was intense because he's got a big reputation here. It was definitely like, you know, a big deal for us to get to work with him. And one of the things that's really great, it feels like he's made a point of working with places like this here where it's like relatively unknown, you know, like it's not like a big, like expensive high-end recording studio. Like, I know other people who are, you know, young guys who are new to the scene that he's made a point of like establishing those relationships. So like he was a very cool one to work with. We recorded a string quartet downstairs in the bakery one time for our buddy Hank. His project is called Mousy Magazine, And that was I encourage people to go kind of look that up. It's a long story, but that recording he did was really special.
Using the bakery and like all the hard walls and machinery as ways to
reverberation.
Yeah, reverberate.
And
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of sound bouncing going on for sure.
Give it a nice live feeling and
yeah.
Very,
well,
feeling,
speaking of live, you have a live set that you're working on right now, and that's what's cool. When you walk in the studio, you see your setup behind us is specifically for that project. But what I like about it is that it's for the project, and it's not like that's not what you're always going to be doing live. Like if we came back a year later, you're going to be doing something different. What goes into your live set right now, and why does it look the way it does? And sound the way it does.
So mapping out the live set has been a really interesting task.
Yeah. Because ultimately it's pop music.
It's pop music, and the
modern
way
pop.
Yeah, exactly. And the way we record is not like like for instance, Catching Feelings that we released. It doesn't sound like it, but there's like over 100 different recordings in that song, and so you can't have 100 different people playing 100 different instruments. It's not how it works.
Yeah, we're kind of having to work backwards. Like normally you have a band, you record something, you play that back. But like we produced with a lot of ambition and just like in big sounds, and now we're trying to having to kind of hone it down into something that's manageable on the stage.
But it doesn't lose that that feeling that we worked really hard to create. Yeah. So one of the instruments that we use, it's it interfaces with Ableton Live, which is the software we record into, and you kind of parse out the different audio recordings. So some of it's backing tracks, some of it's kind of like funny routing with just sending note information to different synthesizers, so you still get the live sound of it. You're not just hearing a recording, it's actually the synthesizers being played, because then we're also playing our parts, but then we can manipulate the synthesizers in real time. And we route the audio to different things too, like through Adam's modular, and then that way at the end of the day, like what we're doing, it's complicated and it's fun to do it, but our main thing is like staying kind of in our place where Ashley is really the star of the show, because she's so compelling, like as a musician, as a show person, that like we want to add just the right amount of ourselves.
We're the bandstand.
Exactly.
Right. Well,
the light's on her.
Well, and that's what's so cool about you said before, there's so much intentionality in what you guys do and what the studio is and what your projects are, and you can see that where you're intentionally making the vocalist shine brighter, and that's what's really cool. What I do want to see though is it'd be cool if you'd actually perform for us now. And now we don't have a singer.
Right.
I would like to, but I want
figure something out.
But we want to see you shine, because you let other people shine so much. We want to see you guys shine. So I mean, would that be cool if we could get a taste of
we'll show you.
Like?
We'll show you how the live set works as best as we can, and then it might be fun to show you how we write. I think would be a little bit more true to what we are. Also, like that's really where I think we shine best. So maybe we'll maybe we do a little remix of y'all's intro song or something. And,
heck yeah, man, we're here for it.
And
we're here for it.
Yeah, we'll show you the live set.
All right, so after this, we're gonna get Adam and Greg to perform their live set at Be My Friend Studio.
Wow, guys, that was awesome.
Man, that was killer. I really enjoyed that. Y'all sound great.
Thanks.
And it's continuity.
If you come to the live show, you can see it with a singer too.
Yeah.
Well, you can see the actual artist.
Well, and people can see like the videos y'all did too, like on your Instagram. People can check that out. All the links are in the description below. And man, this was so much fun. Thanks for having us. This was really a blast.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks
Very
for coming
cool.
around. Thanks for
We'll have to do it again.
us. Yeah.
We gotta go get a king cake now.
We're going. Let's go.
Carnival, let's go.
Dong Fong. Like and subscribe.
Chase